The stench of fear and desperation filled the lower decks of Nexus Station. Dr. Marcus. Reed moved through the cramped corridors with practiced ease, his medical bag clutched tightly in his weathered hands. At 42, he had seen enough suffering in the galaxy's forgotten corners to harden most hearts. But his remained stubbornly soft. He wasn't supposed to be here. The slave markets were officially banned, yet they thrived in the station's belly like a festering wound. Marcus told himself he came only to treat the injured, to ease what pain he could. But today felt different. In the deepest cell, he found her. The alien woman lay crumpled against rusted bars, her pale blue skin mottled with bruises. 4 arms hung limp, too clearly broken. Her elongated skull bore fresh cuts, and dried blood crusted around her large silver eyes. The slavers had dressed her in nothing but torn fabric, advertising her broken body like damaged goods. "This one's worthless," the guard spat, kicking the cell door. Been 3 days since she moved properly. Probably dying. Marcus knelt beside the bars, his trained eye cataloging injuries. Internal bleeding, possible fractures, severe dehydration. But when those silver eyes met his, he saw something that made his breath catch. Intelligence, defiance. A spark that refused to die. How much? He heard himself ask. The guard laughed. "For this trash? 50 credits. But she won't last the night." Marcus's hands trembled as he transferred the funds. The cell door creaked open, and he gathered the alien woman carefully in his arms. She was lighter than he expected, her body trembling against his chest. Her skin felt cool and smooth, like polished stone. "It's all right," he whispered, though she probably didn't understand. "You're safe now." Back in his clinic, Marcus worked through the night. His medical scanner revealed extensive damage, but nothing beyond repair with proper care. As he set her broken bones and sealed her wounds with synthetic skin, she watched him with those haunting silver eyes. When dawn broke over Nexus Station, she was stable. Marcus had pulled a chair beside her bed and dozed fitfully, one hand resting near hers. He woke to find her fingertips touching his palm, a gesture so gentle it brought tears to his eyes. She was studying him with curious intensity, as if trying to solve a puzzle. Her lips moved, forming words in a language he didn't recognize. But her tone was unmistakable. She was saying thank you. Marcus smiled, the first genuine smile he'd managed in months. "I'm Marcus," he said softly, pointing to himself. Her head tilted slightly. When she spoke again, her voice was like music. "Zara." First steps to trust 3 weeks passed before Zara could stand without assistance. Marcus watched her progress with growing amazement. Her species healed faster than humans, but more importantly, her spirit seemed to strengthen with each passing day. At first, she flinched whenever he approached. Years of abuse had taught her that touch meant pain. But Marcus was patient, moving slowly, speaking in gentle tones. He never touched her without warning, always asking permission with gestures and simple words. "It's okay," became his most frequent phrase. Accompanied by open palms and steady eye contact, Zara proved to be remarkably intelligent. Within days, she began picking up human basic, her 4-chambered brain processing the language with startling speed. She asked questions constantly, her curiosity insatiable. "Why you help Zara?" she asked one morning as Marcus changed the dressing on her healing arm. He paused, considering his answer. "Because you needed help? Others walk by. Others not help." Marcus met her gaze. "I'm not others." Something shifted in her expression then. The wariness didn't disappear, but it softened. That afternoon, when he brought her lunch, she patted the bed beside her. An invitation. Marcus sat carefully, maintaining proper distance. Zara studied his face with those expressive silver eyes, then slowly extended one of her 4 hands. Her fingers were longer than human fingers, more delicate, ending in small claws that had been cruelly filed down. She touched his cheek with the lightest pressure, exploring the texture of human skin. Marcus held perfectly still, barely breathing. Her touch was electric, sending warmth through his chest. Soft, she murmured in wonder. Not like stone people? Stone people? My captors. Hearts of stone. But Marcus, ... She pressed her palm flat against his chest over his heart. Not stone. The intimacy of the gesture stunned him. In her culture, he realized, touch was sacred. She was sharing something precious with him, something her captors had tried to destroy. Days blended into a comfortable routine. Marcus would work in the clinic while Zara read from his medical texts, absorbing knowledge with frightening efficiency. Evenings found them sharing simple meals and conversation. She told him fragments of her past, enough for him to understand she'd been more than a slave before her capture. One night, as rain drummed against the clinic windows, Zara asked, "Marcus lonely before Zara?" The question caught him off guard. He'd grown so accustomed to her presence that he'd almost forgotten the years of solitude. "Yes," he admitted. "Very lonely." She nodded seriously. "Zara, understand lonely. But now, ... She gestured between them, searching for words. Not lonely? Marcus felt his heart skip. No, not lonely anymore. She smiled then, the first real smile he'd seen from her. It transformed her entire face, making her beautiful in a way that took his breath away. The attack came without warning. Marcus was updating patient records when his clinic door exploded inward. 3 figures in military armor stormed inside, weapons drawn. Their leader, a scarred human with cold eyes, surveyed the room with practiced efficiency. "Where is she?" he demanded. Marcus rose slowly from his desk, hands visible. "I don't know what you're talking about." The man backhanded him viciously, sending Marcus sprawling. Blood filled his mouth as boots thundered toward the back rooms where Zara was resting. "No." Marcus struggled to his feet, but another soldier struck him with a stun baton. Electricity coursed through his body, dropping him to his knees. From the back room came the sound of furniture crashing. Then Zara's voice raised in what could only be her native language, angry, defiant, unafraid. Marcus had never heard her speak with such authority. The soldiers dragged her out moments later, her forearms bound behind her back. But she wasn't the broken creature he'd found in that cell. She held herself like a queen, silver eyes blazing with fury. Double quotes, Dr. Zara Vethany, the leader sneered. "The consortium has been looking for you." Marcus's blood ran cold. Doctor, she was a doctor. And these weren't random slavers. They were consortium military, the galaxy's most ruthless corporate state. "Release the human," Zara commanded in perfect standard. "He knows nothing." "Oh, but he knows you. And that makes him valuable." They hauled them both to a transport ship, Marcus's head still ringing from the stun baton. During the flight, Zara managed to whisper urgently in his ear, "My research? Neural integration technology. They want to weaponize it." "What kind of research?" "Bridge between organic and artificial minds. I discovered how to link consciousness directly to quantum computers. The implications, ... double quotes, her voice broke. In wrong hands, could control entire populations." Marcus understood now. She wasn't just any alien. She was a brilliant scientist whose work could reshape galactic civilization. No wonder they'd hunted her so relentlessly. The transport docked at a military facility. As guards prepared to separate them, Zara pressed something small and hard into Marcus's palm. A data chip. "My work," she breathed. "Keep safe." They dragged her away, but not before she looked back at him with those silver eyes. In them, Marcus saw not just trust, but something deeper. Something worth fighting for. Left alone in his cell, Marcus examined the chip. Such a tiny thing to hold such enormous power. But more importantly, it held Zara's life's work, the essence of her brilliant mind. He would not let them destroy her. Human stubbornness, his grandfather had called it. The refusal to quit when quitting made sense. The facility's lights dimmed for a night cycle, but Marcus was already planning. Humans might not be the strongest or fastest species in the galaxy, but they possessed something invaluable, the ability to hope against impossible odds. Growing bonds, the prison transport had been sabotaged by consortium enemies, a stroke of luck that Marcus refused to question. In the chaos of the crash, he'd freed Zara and escaped into the asteroid mining facility where they'd been held. Now they huddled in an abandoned storage bay, sharing warmth and planning their next move. "Your species is remarkable," Zara whispered, her breath visible in the cold air. She was pressed against his side, all four arms wrapped around him for warmth. Most would have abandoned Zara to save themselves. Marcus adjusted his jacket around her shoulders. The past week of running and hiding had stripped away the last barriers between them. He'd seen her brilliant mind work through impossible problems, watched her sacrifice her own safety for his repeatedly. She'd seen him fight when fighting seemed hopeless, refused to give up when surrender was logical. "I couldn't leave you," he said simply. He caught himself, the word hanging unspoken between them. Zara's silver eyes searched his face in the dim light. "Say it, Marcus. Please. I love you." The words came out rough, honest. "I know it's crazy. We're different species. We've known each other barely 2 months. And we're being hunted by the most powerful military in the galaxy. But I love you." Her response was to cup his face in her hands, all four of them framing his features. "In my culture, we have a saying. Hearts recognize hearts. Regardless of the shell they wear, my heart recognized yours the moment you knelt by my cell." When she kissed him, it was electric. Her lips were softer than human lips, and the gentle way her tongue explored his mouth sent fire through his veins. He pulled her closer, marveling at how perfectly she fit against him despite their physical differences. "I was certain I would die in that place," she murmured against his throat. "Broken, forgotten, worthless. You showed me I was still worthy of gentleness, of love." Marcus traced the delicate ridges along her skull, a feature he'd once found alien but now saw as beautiful. "You were never worthless. You're brilliant, brave, compassionate, ... She silenced him with another kiss, deeper this time. Her lower arms worked at the fastenings of his shirt while her upper hands tangled in his hair. When her palms pressed against his bare chest, he gasped at the sensation. "Zara, ... I want to feel alive, Marcus. With you, because of you, they made love slowly, carefully, learning each other's bodies with reverent touches." She was amazed by his warmth, the way his skin flushed with desire. He marveled at her alien beauty, the way her skin seemed to shimmer in the low light. How her forearms could hold him in ways no human ever could. Afterward, they lay entwined, her head on his chest while he stroked her hair. The universe outside their small refuge might be hunting them. But in this moment, they were complete. "When this is over," Marcus said quietly, "I want to take you somewhere beautiful. Show you Earth's oceans." "When this is over," Zara replied, "I want to show you the crystal gardens of my homeworld. If they still exist." They both knew the odds were against them. But humans, Marcus reflected, had never been good at accepting impossible odds. The final confrontation came at the Nexus station docks, where Marcus and Zara had hoped to book passage to neutral space. Instead, they found Consortium forces waiting, led by the same scarred commander who'd captured them before. "Dr. Vethany," he called across the crowded docking bay, "you've caused us considerable trouble." Civilians scattered as soldiers moved to surround them. Marcus counted at least 20 armed figures, all with weapons trained on them. His hand found Zara's, their fingers intertwining. "Your research belongs to the Consortium," the commander continued. "Surrender and the human lives." Zara stepped forward, her chin raised defiantly. "My research belongs to all species, not just those with the power to steal it. You're in no position to negotiate, aren't I?" Zara's silver eyes flashed with dangerous intelligence. She raised her voice, addressing the gathering crowd. "Citizens of Nexus Station, this man represents the Consortium military, here to steal technology that could free your minds from corporate control." Marcus watched in amazement as she transformed the scene. Her words, delivered in perfect standard with the authority of her scientific credentials, began to turn the crowd. Dock workers and merchants started moving closer, their faces angry. "She's lying," the commander shouted, but doubt flickered across his features. "This wasn't going according to plan. I have developed technology that can liberate consciousness itself. Zara declared. The power to link minds directly, to share knowledge and emotion across species barriers. Imagine a galaxy where understanding replaces prejudice. The crowd murmured approval. Marcus felt his heart swell with pride. This was the woman he loved, brilliant, brave, and utterly committed to using her gifts for good. Enough. The commander raised his weapon. Terminate both subjects! But the crowd had heard enough. Dock workers surged forward, overwhelming the soldiers with sheer numbers. In the chaos, Marcus and Zara were swept toward a waiting transport. This way, shouted a familiar voice. Marcus turned to see Captain Torres, a pilot he'd treated years ago. I owe you, Doc. They barely made it aboard before the ship lifted off, leaving Nexus Station behind. As they escaped into hyperspace, Zara activated her hidden research files, broadcasting her discoveries to every scientific institution in the galaxy. It's done, she said, falling into Marcus's arms. My work is free. Months later, they stood together on a beach on New Geneva, watching Earth's sun set over alien waters. Zara's neural integration technology was revolutionizing medicine, communication, and understanding between species. The consortium's stranglehold on information was crumbling. No regrets. Marcus asked, wrapping his arms around her from behind. She leaned back against his chest, all four hands covering his. Only that we waited so long to find each other. In the distance, ships from a dozen worlds approached the planet, carrying scientists eager to collaborate rather than conquer. It was a new age, built on the foundation of one. Humans' refusal to walk past. Suffering in one alien's determination to use her gifts for good. Their love had literally changed the galaxy as stars emerged in the darkening sky. Marcus pressed a kiss to Zara's temple. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but they would face them together. Human stubbornness paired with alien brilliance. Love conquering all odds. The future stretched before them, infinite with possibility.